Good morning. This is the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. My name's Dave Burney.
I'm Brent Apperson. Good morning. Wow, for those of you watching on Facebook Live, you've got Dave in black and Brent in white. Does that mean something?
Probably. There's a lot of folks out there that would probably say that's about right. That's okay.
Yeah.
We're good.
We are. How was your weekend?
Very relaxing.
Good.
Didn't do too awful much. Went to the parade yesterday.
How was that?
Oh, man, did they have a parade over in Arcadia.
They
Fall
usually
Festival.
do.
Wow. This one was extra big because they had lots and lots of tractors. They had the tractor show, and they had a car show after the parade. So they really packed those two categories, and then there was just so many other great floats and businesses and groups, and we were behind a big cement pumper, and
Yeah.
Hunter's Towing was there with his big rig. But there was just all sorts of different things, horses and hot rods and floats and good food and fun at Arcadia. And that was yesterday, and of course they started Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So they had that going on, and then Emily went over to Callaway to the kite flight, and you heard that story this morning. She was talking with some folks who look forward to that event every year. Real family fun for the kids and whole family, and they had some wind that was just the right velocity, and
Good.
So it was a good weekend for everybody. Think everybody enjoyed it, and it wasn't too hot. The temperature was really, really nice. I think it peaked out at 90 yesterday, and that's about as warm as it got over the weekend. So I think it was a great weekend for everybody.
Yeah.
Now, you and Grant went down to the Husker game on Saturday. You had those special tickets. Do you get snacks when you're in there, too, when you're upstairs in the big enclosed press box up there?
Yeah, we get treated as though we're actual press, even though we're just a guest. We get treated just like everybody does. So, yeah, we get a meal. And
You get a meal?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, barbecue pork sandwich. And although Brent's meal had, I don't even know. This is so embarrassing. I don't know if I should share this, but we like to share embarrassing moments,
Sure.
that happen to us live on the air, because we're human. I was getting my plate together, had lettuce salad and coleslaw and barbecue pork sandwich, and I went to get my drink, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna party a little bit. I'm gonna have a Mountain Dew.
oh, look out.
So I got my Mountain Dew. I spilled my Mountain Dew into my meal.
Oh.
And it was really embarrassing. But I'm like, well, I probably can't go back and get another one. So I got to tell you, coleslaw kind of soaking in Mountain Dew ain't half bad.
It's not bad, huh?
It's actually pretty good. I'll just tell you.
Well, I'm glad that worked out.
Yeah. But no, we get snacks at halftime. Got popcorn and snacks at halftime. And,
Wow.
And no waiting for the restroom. That's the best part of setting up there.
No long
you
line.
You don't have to stand in line to go to the restroom.
You ever feel like that you're in a stockyard and you're the cattle when you go to
sometimes
an event like that?
Yeah, sometimes.
You're standing in line, all just to go to the restroom, all lined up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's kind of weird when you think about it, but you got to have that. I mean,
Yes,
there's
yeah.
no other way around it. But nice that you had your own private bathroom. huh?
It is kind of nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it was tied up at halftime, and then things went much better second half for the Huskers. Now they're 1-1. And I kind of tip your hat to the South Dakota or North Dakota team that came in. They're a good little team. It could be fun to see what they do the rest of the year, I think.
It will be, yeah. It will be fun to see what they do, and it'll be fun to see what Nebraska does.
Maybe.
the rest of the year.
Hopefully it'll be fun.
Up in the when we get the passes to be up in the press box facility, they always make the announcement before each half. They remind you that it is a working press box facility. No hand clapping, no cheering, none of that. And if you do, then you'll be politely asked to leave and escort or,
really
be escorted out of the premises. And you know what? Normally that drives me crazy because people who know me, and if you've ever watched a game with me, I'm one of those vocal people.
You're rabid.
I kind of get a little vocal, and but fortunately, at least in the first half especially, we didn't really have anything to clap our hands about or cheer, so that was really easy in the first half anyway, to just sit there and just watch the game. It is kind of a neat perspective from up there because you do get to see the game in a whole new perspective. You can just see everything open up, which sometimes is good and sometimes is bad.
It depends on which line is opening up, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. So,
well, it turned out okay.
Yeah, it was fun, and loved being with Grant. That's the first time he'd ever been up there, and he was like a kid in a candy store. He was just he loved being up there, and it is kind of a neat experience.
Oh, so. Yeah.
But
I'm glad you guys went, and it turned out good, and we're ready to tear into a short week, because this is Tuesday, which we must remind ourselves of every once in a while now, because this is the 6th day of September, Tuesday. Just keep telling yourself that so that you'll be traveling through the week on the right day. It's a little tough when you have that Monday holiday off, but it's a good problem to have. So we hope you enjoyed the weekend. Weather-wise, other than it being so darn dry, you couldn't ask for better weather.
It was nice.
Some of the final campouts and different things that took place. The festivals we mentioned, and there were probably other activities in other areas of Nebraska that had some end of summer fun. So we hope that you folks enjoyed it out there. Probably, again, want to start watching a little closer now as we travel down the highways. There'll be a lot more corn silage being cut, and they'll get ready to start harvesting. Some of this corn will come out pretty quick, especially some of the corn that is so dry. And then there's some wet corn that'll be hauled into the feedlots. So we're going to start seeing more trucks out there than ever before, and there's plenty the way it is. So as we travel now the next couple months, we'll want to be kind of careful out there. Today's show, we have Arrow Seed coming in. We'll be visiting with Mark with Big Iron Auction Company. We have the Broken Bow Area Rotary scheduled, and the Custer County corn growers are going to come in, and they're going to tell us about a gathering they're having, their annual event, which is always very interesting. So we got some good guests coming in and some other information we want to pass along to you today. It's also Tuesday, so it's Tumbleweed Day, so in a little bit we're going to give you a chance to win a prize, well, a delicious meal at the Tumbleweed. In the meantime, we're going to take a look at all the good meals at our schools. And let me tear this page off because this is COZAD. I better write that on here. Catch up a little bit. And remember, this is the 6th. So today at COZAD, they're having mini corn dogs, cheese pizza, peanut butter and jelly with cheese stick. They're also having mixed greens, fresh picks such as broccoli and fresh fruit, and bacon, turkey, avocado club. All sorts of good things at COZAD today.
Sargent Public Schools today serving corn dogs or just plain hot dog, taters, fruit cup, milk, and salad bar on the menu at Sargent today.
At Callaway, it's Taco Day today.
At Ansley, tacos at Ansley today.
Arcadia, they're having tater tot casserole.
And Semmelmyrna today, some of their choices include made fresh macaroni and cheese with breadstick, hot dog, fresh baked turkey and cheese sub. Your choices at Semmelmyrna today.
At the Arnold schools, it's chicken patty on a bun.
All right. SEM today looks like chicken fajitas on the lunch menu at Sumner Eddyville Miller.
And the Broken Bow schools today, it's super nachos, barbecued rib sandwiches, fresh baked turkey and cheese subs, vegetables, fruit, dessert, and milk.
At Thetford today, pizza, corn, veggie, fruit bar, and milk at Thetford today. And at Sandhills Public Schools today, macaroni and cheese, rolls, and dessert at Sandhills in Dunning.
All right, before we play the game, let's check out our birthdays today. If you're celebrating a birthday on this 6th day of September, on this Tuesday, you're celebrating with Roger Waters, 79 today, singer, songwriter, bassist, and co-founder of Pink Floyd. Also, Jane Curtin is celebrating her birthday today. Jane is 75 today. She was one of the not-for-primetime players on Saturday Night Live, starred in the sitcom Third Rock from the Sun, and pretty funny lady. Also, Jeff Foxworthy, comedian, is 64 today, really famous for his You Might Be a Redneck one-liners. Mm-hmm. And Justina Machado is 50 today, and she played Penelope Alvarez in the recent Netflix series One Day at a Time, also played Vanessa in the HBO's 6 Feet Under series. So those are some folks that are having birthdays with you today. Happy birthday.
All right. Are you ready for the game?
We are ready.
All right. On September 4th, 1957, Ford introduced the Edsel.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think it went over real well.
It did not.
Okay. It is, I think, considered one of the biggest business flops in history, it says. So we're going to ask some questions this week about inventions that were successful and the people behind them.
Okay.
This statesman, politician, scholar, inventor, and one of the earliest U.S. presidents invented the swivel chair, the spherical sundial, the moldboard plow, and the cipher wheel. I didn't realize he invented all of these things. Who is this person? Was it Alexander Hamilton, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, or John Adams? This statesman, politician, scholar, inventor, and one of the earliest U.S. presidents invented the swivel chair, the spherical sundial, the moldboard plow, and the cipher wheel. Who is this person? Your choices are Alexander Hamilton, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, or John Adams.
Call us at 872-2801 and win yourself a tumbleweed meal at the Tumbleweed.
There are plenty of reasons why so many folks choose the Tumbleweed Cafe for gathering and eating. For one, it's a friendly, fun place where everyone makes you feel right at home. It's spacious and comfortable with your choice of table, counter, or booth. Most important, of course, is the variety and unfailing quality of their excellent home-cooked menu. There's nothing like proving these things for yourself. Next time you plan to dine out, visit the Tumbleweed Cafe, East Highway 2, Broken Bow.
Well, we didn't... Oh, wait, here comes the call. Let's just pick it up and find out who we have here this morning. Good morning, you're on the air. Who are we talking to?
This is Deb.
Hi, Deb. How you doing?
Oh, I'm okay. How about you?
Well, I have to ask you, do you want to be Deb today, Deborah, or Debbie?
I don't have anything drastic to do, so I'm Deb.
Okay, just plain old Deb. That's good for us, too. Here's Brett with your question.
Okay, Deb, this statesman, politician, scholar, inventor, and U.S. president invented the swivel chair, the spherical sundial, the moldboard plow, and the cipher wheel. Was it Alexander Hamilton, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, or John Adams?
I'm just taking a guess. I think it was Hamilton.
No, it was not
okay.
Alexander Hamilton. I'm sorry.
That's all right, Deb. Deb, a lot of these guys back then that were in politics were actually farmers. They actually had land and farmed, and so sometimes they would invent things. And I'm trying to come up with a hint here.
He was the third president of the United States.
Yeah, and there was a series, a television series, many years later with the same name.
Jefferson?
Yeah.
There you go. You got it, Deb. Way to go. All right, we have for you a certificate that's going to get you a free tumbleweed meal at the Tumbleweed Cafe in Broken Bow.
Awesome.
So come on out and see us.
No, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Deb. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. 7:45 is your time. You're listening to The Breakfast Show.
We might be in the waning moments of summer, but seasonal allergies are still here. Varney Health Mart is here to help. Allergy Relief Nasal Spray 24-hour is $12.99. 30-count loratadine tablets are $5.99. Cetirizine HCl 30-count tablets are marked at $7.99. Whether it's allergies or any other healthcare need, stop at Varney Health Mart, downtown Broken Bow. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
There's a difference between treating the pain and treating the problem. At Pearson Physical Therapy, we strive to not only reduce your pain, but actually treat the underlying cause so that you remain pain-free, even after you finish physical therapy. If you're frustrated by pain that keeps coming back, Pearson Physical Therapy can give you the tools that will keep you moving pain-free. Call Pearson's in Broken Bow at 308-872-5800 or check us out on the web at pearsonpt.com. Get the treatment you need and the care you deserve at Pearson Physical Therapy.
Labor Day savings go through Tuesday at Gary's Superfoods in Broken Bow. 80% lean ground beef in a 10-pound tube is only $2.99 a pound. Or toss Smithfield all-natural boneless pork loin chops on the grill. They're 10 for 10. Frito-Lay Doritos are only $2.79 each. And for dessert, pick up our family ice cream pails for $5.99. Gary's Superfoods, South B Street in Broken Bow.
Waking up Central Nebraska.
They are so funny.
KCNI, KBBN.
I don't know if we're that funny, but thanks a lot.
I was going to say, some days we get in a groove, other days
Not so much.
not so much. There you go.
But we are honest about it. We're not trying to blow smoke here. Hey, I want to send back a thank you. Steve Hornickel in the chat box this morning said, "Good morning. Thanks for participating in the Arcadia Fall Festival Parade." No, Steve, thank you. That parade, those people, that celebration is fantastic. They had the barbecue and everything, kids' games, and congratulations to you for putting on such a great festival. They do it every year, and look forward to it next year. I think we have one more festival yet. I was talking with my wife on the way back yesterday, and she said, well, that's probably the last one. Then she said, oh, wait a minute. Arnold had a late summer, early fall festival last year they brought back. So I hear that that's going to be taking place again. So we might get one more parade in before the year's out. I got to tell you, Arcadia, you got to have a lot of candy. There are kids everywhere. Yeah. It's fantastic. And some of the folks I think kind of work their way back through, but we were about drained out of candy. You know, it's just amazing how many kids are at that event. So look forward to Arnold. If you're going to have that, we'll try to have somebody over there for that, of course, and probably go over and do a remote ahead of that. But thank you, Steve. Thank you very much. A little bit about the Tumbleweed Cafe. While we have a moment here, we just give away a great prize to the Tumbleweed. Joan and I went out for breakfast/dinner over the weekend. But the Custer girls were there waiting on everybody, along with some other great help. And it was quite entertaining because the Custer girls, they're twins, which you can relate to. They're not identical twins, but they had to wait on their sister and mom. I really enjoyed watching that.
Really?
It was pretty good. Great service, though. Good Denver omelet. Thanks so much. Great hash browns. Jones cheese omelet was wonderful. That's what you can get at the Tumbleweed all day long if you like. Plus, their specials that they have at noon in the evenings, and the buffet on Sundays. Place was packed all weekend. So the Tumbleweed's ready for you 7 days a week, and they could use some help, by the way. If you're looking for a part-time job, they'd love to have you come out and talk to them about it. Carmen could sure use the help. All right, Aeroseed is here. Logan, how you doing, Logan?
Oh, not too bad.
What's the matter, man? You seem a little down. What's the problem?
I got in a little bit of an argument with my wife this morning.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Isn't that something you want to talk about on the air?
Kind of, because I'm an avid bird hunter.
Yes.
Okay, and we got in an argument over the difference between a crow and a raven.
That's a good thing to argue about because that's a little bit tough.
It is. I was telling her that there is no difference, and she actually proved me wrong. So the flight feathers on a crow, which would be called a pinion feather, there's 14 of them. Okay? On a raven, there is 15. So she proved me wrong, but it turns out it's just a matter of opinion.
Oh, Renee.
You know what? Is there any possible way when you come in to visit and you do the joke thing, is there any way we could, like in the corner of our Facebook Live, have a picture of your wife's reaction after every joke? I would love to see her facial expression.
It's the same after every joke.
So we could just use one picture?
Exactly.
There you
go.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you got that worked out anyway.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse.
Could have been.
Yeah, we did actually go to Lincoln this weekend.
Oh, you did?
Not for the Husker game. I just went to see Renee's family.
Okay.
Her dad actually listens to a lot of records, so like vinyls, which I think
fantastic.
you probably know what those are.
You bet. Got some in the back.
Yeah. So we got him here a few years ago. We got him a really good record player. Mm-hmm. And I was going through his records, and there was one that said it was supposed to sound like a wasp. I was like, well, I gotta listen to that. So I put it on. It sounded nothing like a wasp. I had it on the B side.
Oh boy. Renee,
this is your interview today, Dave. Go ahead.
Okay. Let me just have a little sip of coffee here.
You know the best way to get rid of bees?
Oh boy.
Is with Tempo from Arrow Seed.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Hey, I got okay, I do have a question for you. I was out kind of knocking off the few parts that had grown up in my yard. And on the east side of the house, my goodness, I have never seen so many, I think they were gnats.
Probably.
Or something. Just covered. The east side, it was the east side, east side of the house. And I was just wondering if anyone else experienced that. That first time I'd ever seen it, but I think they just looked like gnats.
It was a couple years ago. It was bad everywhere with those things.
Yeah.
I mean, they were just it was just a fog of them. And then they were gone, in a couple days. So it was a hatch of some sort. So that could be what you're dealing with.
But would Tempo around because they were kind of right around the windows and everything. I mean, the screens were good, so they weren't getting in. But would Tempo take care of even
it would
that?
Yep, it would.
And I need to come and get some Tempo because I made the mistake of leaving my Tempo in the garage over the winter, and you've said that if you do that, it freezes and it's not nearly as effective.
It probably lost some effectiveness.
Yeah. I need to go up to the transmitter because we're going to start this time of year. The flies will start coming in, and oh lordy, do they come in! So
flies and box elder bugs, and spiders, and all sorts of creepy
and they have it sealed off. You don't know how those flies get in, but they do. And then of course they like the warmth of the transmitter, and so they can gum things up pretty badly. So if the time that I took it out there and just went around the perimeter of the inside of the building, boom, they were dead.
Yeah, their Tempo's awesome. It's a great insect control.
Are you stocked up on it?
We are.
Okay, I better come see you.
Does Tempo kill, or does it just inhibit them coming in? Does that make a sense?
It inhibits their life, yeah.
Okay, good. Well, I just didn't know.
I don't breathe very good.
Yeah, I didn't really know if we had talked about that, but it actually just kills the bug.
Yes.
All right, cool.
Yep.
But it's safe. You don't have to worry about it. And there's really no odor to it, as I remember.
No, it's one of the safer ones on the market. Obviously you don't want to spray it on your food and then eat it.
Yeah.
But it's very effective and it's very safe when used correctly.
Yeah. And it's very concentrated.
Yes, a little bit goes a long ways.
So I know it'll be a little bit of a, the little sticker shock when you see the little bottle and how much it costs, but it'll make gallons and gallons and gallons of.
Yeah, that little bottle is, as long as you keep it stored correctly and don't, let it freeze in the wintertime, it'll last for a few years.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'll have to come back. I want to get a spray bottle from you too.
Yep. See, and we've got a sprayer at work that is just for tempo.
Yeah, I think I had one too, but I broke it also.
Did you let it freeze too?
Yeah. So I'll come back.
Okay.
But as long as you're stocked up, folks, get in and get it now, because this is the time of year where all the bugs get sticky and they can drive you crazy.
Yeah, they drive you nuts.
I don't have to tell you that. You already know that probably, but boy, this stuff takes care of them.
Yep, and it's the time of year that everything's going to try to get inside. So if you spray around the foundation of your house, maybe some outside window wells, you're essentially creating a barrier to prevent them from
coming in. Logan, what's the window right now? Are there still some cover crops being put in for the farmers out there?
There are. It's still going to go for a while yet.
Okay.
With your your fall small grains. So that'd be like your rye, triticale, wheat, that type of stuff. Still good conditions to get it planted. If we don't get any moisture, it might not do much this fall, but it'll be there for next spring, and you can get some growth out of it.
Hopefully, if we don't get it this fall, we'll get some snow cover on it or some rains this spring, and they'll still come up.
Yep, exactly.
So would it come up this fall if there was some? Would the plants come through the ground?
Yeah,
if you had a little rain.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And I was out last night and we had a customer plant a mix of rye, turnips, radish, a little bit of clover in a dryland cane field that he had taken the cane off of, and then no-tilled right into it. And we haven't had anything since then, and this was on dry land, and that rye had already germinated.
Okay.
So it takes very little moisture for it to
pop off,
for it to get going. And I think part of that was because he no-tilled it. So he didn't open the soil back up. As soon as you open the soil up, there goes all what little moisture you might have. So if you can no-till into whatever cover that you're drilling into, do that, and you'll benefit in the long run.
I think a lot of people out there are scratching their heads, and we talk about it every week, but I think it is the topic of the day for folks who live in town, or for that matter, people out in the country who have yards and took the hit we took this spring. There's not very many good-looking yards. There are some that have the underground sprinklers where they've just poured the water to it. Right now, does it do some good? Does it do some good to water? I mean, our yard is pretty brown now. Do we need to water up before winter?
Yeah, absolutely. If you can get that grass in better shape going into winter, it's going to come out of winter in better shape. And I think a lot of stuff that winter killed, that was probably part of the reason is, people shut the water off too early, myself included. Once you get those sprinklers winterized, you don't really want to have to do it again and again and again.
Well, it's hard these days because I hate to say this, but climate change is kind of evident, and we have warm temperatures into December anymore, and you could be actually pouring water on in November for sure.
Right, that's just it. The whole climate change argument, it's certainly warming up, so you just need to take that into account.
Yeah. Okay, so we probably should be putting some water on now for hopefully next spring. What about places, or if not all the yard, that just maybe we need to start over on? I think you kind of recommending that this fall might not be the best because it has been so dry. I guess if you can get water to it,
it'll be fine. So that's going to be the key.
And then you also mentioned we have just a kind of a short window here to plant this fall.
Yeah, I mean, it's closing pretty rapidly. The closer we get to October, the closer we get to a killing freeze. So you might not have a whole lot of growth on it. Granted, all your turf grasses are going to keep growing until that point. So it's going to have to get down in the high 20s for it to stop growing.
Another question then. If, say, somebody's going to do one whole big piece of the yard and start over, should you maybe kill it now? What's left of it?
It wouldn't hurt to burn it down. Otherwise, if you're going in with the same type of grass, just go right into it.
Okay. But you still have the weeds took over in some of those places, so that's why I ask if maybe you should knock those down a little bit before you.
Yeah, I mean you can just mow them super short.
Okay.
Most weeds that you see in a yard are going to be annuals, so they're going to die over the wintertime anyway.
Okay.
So if you can get a good pre-emergent on next spring, you'll be in pretty good shape.
Okay, but don't let anybody or do your own application that will not let it grow, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to put on a pre-emergent if you're going to be planting new grass. You don't want to put a pre-emergent on those areas unless it's a specific pre-emergent that will allow that new grass to grow, which they do have. It is pretty pricey, however.
Yeah, it's you figure seed and water anyway. That's already pricey enough. So I would wonder maybe if more people nowadays might be thinking more about buffalo grass with the climate the way it's been, and buffalo grass doesn't require as much water, I don't think, as bluegrass.
Pretty minimal water for buffalo grass, pretty minimal fertilizer. Buffalo grass just kind of does its thing. If you give it a drink every now and again, it'll do just fine.
How long does it take to establish buffalo grass?
We planted some the first week of June, and it was fully established by the end of July.
Okay.
So a couple months.
If you get a good stand, you're okay. Otherwise, it has to kind of work its way and spread out, right?
So, exactly. Okay. And the best time for buffalo grass is kind of that first part of June time frame. So then you give it essentially all summer long to establish.
Okay. But we're out of time. That's some good conversation, some pretty terrible jokes. Worked out perfectly.
It did. It did.
You guys are open 5.5 days a week, downtown Broken Bow. You have a website. You got a phone. Reach out and talk to you guys, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Just come on in or give us a call. On these fall small grains that are going in, even wheat. If it's something you think you might want to pursue and plant, give us a call and we can get your name on some.
All right. Thanks, Logan.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
There's only one Logan. 8:03 is your time.
You are listening to the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. Go, go, go! On KCNI, KBBN, Broken Bow, Nebraska.
CBS News Brief. Students in Uvalde, Texas head back to public schools for the first time since the mass shooting at Robb Elementary in May. KENS TV's Matt Houston.
The district will begin its year with 6 police officers, 4 of whom responded in some fashion to the shooting. Uvalde residents and parents have complained these officers will serve even though the district hasn't yet reviewed their behavior during the crisis.
2 people were killed, 1 badly burned after extreme temperatures fueled the flames of a wildfire in Riverside County, California. Cal Fire's Richard Cordova.
In the afternoon, the winds are going to shift and blow the opposite direction, so that could be a big concern for firefighters. So I wouldn't say we're out of the woods at this time. We have a lot of work to do.
More triple-digit temps in the forecast today. Liz Truss is the UK's new prime minister after getting the Queen's approval. Boris Johnson submitted his resignation, vowing,
I will be offering this government nothing but the most fervent support.
CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
Here's a look at Nebraska news. A Gibbon man is heading to trial court on 2 felony charges in connection with sexual assaults on 2 children, age 8 and 10. During a preliminary hearing this past Friday, a Buffalo County judge found probable cause to bound over the case against 30-year-old Vincent Harrell. Buffalo County District Court records show Harrell is charged with first-degree sexual assault on a child and third-degree sexual assault on a child. The records with details of the crimes have been sealed, but charges filed indicate the assaults happened in February of 2018. His next court hearing has yet to be set. The maximum penalty for first-degree sexual assault on a child is life in prison. In other Nebraska news, the Buffalo County Sheriff's Office located a missing 51-year-old on Monday. According to officials, 51-year-old Brian R. Strong has been found and is safe. That's Nebraska News.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Eddie Garcia.
News from the NFL, where Mitch Trubisky has been listed as the #1 quarterback on the Pittsburgh Steelers depth chart that was released on Monday. This ahead of the Steelers' regular season opener against the Bengals. Trubisky was also voted team captain for this season. Rookie and #1 draft pick Kenny Pickett listed as third string. New York Jets quarterback Zach Wilson worked out for the first time since August 16th following arthroscopic knee surgery. Head coach Robert Saleh of the Jets said that Wilson has a chance to be the starter in the season opener against the Baltimore Ravens despite missing most of the preseason. Wilson's status apparently going to be determined on Wednesday. College football on Labor Day. #4 Clemson beat Georgia Tech 41-10. Clemson quarterback DJ Uiagalelei had a touchdown pass and a touchdown run in the victory. Also, Will Shipley, a couple touchdowns for the Tigers. In tennis, American Francis Tiafoe upset 22-time Grand Slam champion Rafael Nadal to advance to the quarterfinals at the U.S. Open. Nadal had advanced to the quarterfinals in 16 straight major tournaments.
Here's your weatherology forecast. High temperatures on the hot side for today, reaching into the upper 90s with mostly sunny skies. Then for tonight, clear and calm, low of 59. For Wednesday, still well above average with a high temperature of 96. Thursday, sunny and hot, reaching 100 degrees. And then for Friday, at least a slight chance for a shower or storm will ease back into the lower 80s. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm staff meteorologist Michael Caro.
I'm Dr. Stork. Doesn't your family deserve the best? Eggland's Best Eggs. Classic, cage-free, and organic give you and your family more. More delicious, farm-fresh taste, plus superior nutrition. Compared to ordinary eggs, Eggland's Best provides 6 times more vitamin D, 10 times more vitamin E, and 25% less saturated fat. These are no ordinary times, so why choose an ordinary egg? Only Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Big news. Joe Biden plans to hire 87,000 new IRS employees. Bloomberg says that this means more IRS audits. Now, Rob Schmidt takes on this new IRS army and the dangers to you. Watch Rob Schmidt at 7 p.m. Eastern tonight as he exposes this big power grab. Find Newsmax on major cable systems. If your system doesn't carry it, call them. Demand Newsmax. And watch Rob Schmidt tonight. He's fighting for you. Newsmax is real news for real people.
8 past the hour of 8, 60 degrees outside, and we have thin high clouds up there this morning as the sun is making its way up here. So we don't have a clear sky, but still it's not heavy clouds so far today, and doesn't sound like it will be. Winds are light out of the south. Barometric pressure up 1 point again in the last hour at 30.04, so it's on a slow rise today. Humidity at 73%. High temperature yesterday, 90, with an overnight low of 60. We did drop down to 58 just after 7 o'clock. Sunrise this morning was at 7:09. Sunset today at 8:05. Sunrise tomorrow morning at 7:10. And we have recorded 0.07 of an inch precipitation in this early portion of September. But it is, of course, very dry out there, as everybody knows. And we also know the danger of fire is very, very high right now. So please be careful. All right, Brent, you have some information for our listeners. If you'd like to pass along anything that they might be interested in, that would be very, very nice of you here on this Tuesday morning.
Okay. It's important to insure your home, your family, and your possessions, but it's also important to insure your business. Ask Universal Insurance Agency in Broken Bow about getting the right coverage. They have a wide knowledge base and catalog of information to help your business, from HR to OSHA availability to other features that will play a key role in your business success on the insurance side. Talk to Universal Insurance in Broken Bow today. Give them a call at 872-6438, or you can visit them at 940 South East Street in Broken Bow. That's Universal Insurance.
Thank you. This is Barbie Doll Day today.
Is it now? Okay.
I have important information over here as well. This is Barbie Doll Day. Some outstanding history here for you this morning. Making this day back in 1959 when Barbie dolls first went on sale. 58 million are sold every year.
Wow.
Yep. That's more than 100 Barbies every minute. Think about that.
Mm-hmm.
It was designed by a former Pentagon engineer who was based on a German doll for adults at the time called Lily. She was a doll that represented a high-class call girl, if you must know the truth.
Okay.
And next came Barbie and became more mainstream. And now there's another Barbie movie coming out, by the way. So look for that.
All right, great.
The best-selling Barbie? Take a guess.
Malibu.
I'm not sure if that is the same, but in 1992 they released the Totally Hair Barbie featuring floor-length hair. That's the best-selling.
I see.
Nearly a third of Americans say they used to have a Barbie collection. Did you?
I did not know. My sister did, though.
Okay.
Had a lot of Barbies. Had all the back in her day, growing up. The furniture was inflatable. You could buy inflatable furniture. So you'd buy all the furniture and blow it up, and then she would set it all up in the living room. And then Brent would come along with his big Tonka Jeep with G.I. Joe in it. And I would run the Tonka Jeep right through her living room and just destroy all of the furniture.
Peggy, did you hear that?
Yeah.
You probably knew that.
Those were fun times.
Oh, my gosh. 25% of Americans admit to cutting their Barbie's hair.
Oh.
And 6% of Americans say they used to chew on Barbie's feet.
Oh, well.
Many of them still do weird things.
Now, I did not know that Barbie was created, though, by he worked for the Pentagon?
Yeah, Pentagon engineer.
Huh.
It was based on a German doll who was a high-class call girl.
Oh.
And later was developed into a best-selling Barbie for little kids.
Okay.
What else do you have for us? I have more important information over here as well.
Quality Senior Villages would love to have you join their team. They're looking to hire evening and night shift medication aides, offering excellent benefits like Colonial Life, a paid subscription to Click Family Healthcare for full-time employees, VSP Vision Insurance, and excellent PTO opportunities. Call Quality Senior Villages if interested. Their number is 872-6387, or you can stop in and ask for an application. You can also email them at qsvbrokenbow@gmail.com.
Do you want to call your sister and apologize?
For what?
Well, wrecking her Barbie setup.
That was years ago.
Jeez, Peggy. Today is the Great Egg Toss Day.
Okay.
I bet you didn't know egg tossing is a sport.
I guess I don't know if a sanctioned sport.
I guess the most common egg toss involves two people throwing an egg back and forth.
Yes.
Now, they do this at Oconto during fun days, each time moving further away from each other. So I think it's, we're familiar with that. The longest recorded egg toss happened on this day in 1981. Clear back in 81, two dudes from Finland threw a raw egg more than 317 feet without breaking it.
Wow.
317.
I think you and I should try to break the record.
Oh, we wouldn't get 10 feet. I don't think, would we?
It'd be fun to try, though. That would be one of those records that you could attempt anyway.
Yeah, you could participate.
Yeah.
I wonder if Catherine has some. Oh, I wouldn't want a bad egg. You wouldn't want a bad egg because if it
now
broke,
that would yeah.
Nothing worse than a bad egg. In a lot of ways.
Although I think that if we attempt to break the record, I should be the one that throws it.
Well,
and then you can catch it.
You could throw it back and forth. I mean,
well, yeah, but to set the record, you just need to catch it once, don't you?
Well, you want to try 318 feet one time?
Well, you keep trying it till you break the record. What I'm saying is, I think I should be the one that throws it, and you should be the one that catches it.
Peggy, he's getting aggressive again.
I just think I have a better arm than you do.
Well, you don't throw it overhand. You throw it underhand.
Who says you can't throw it overhand? To get it 318 feet? Who says you can't throw it overhand?
Well, you're going to throw it a high arc, and somebody on the other...
I can get arc on it, throw an overhand.
You think you can throw it 300 feet, an egg, without squishing it when you throw it?
Well, the key would be, can you catch it?
Well, I have soft hands.
See? There we go. It's set.
But I can't see very well. I get an egg in the face.
Well, that'd be a shame.
You'd hate that, wouldn't you? Speaking of good eggs, there's 2 or 3 good eggs at Nebraska Owners Insurance Agency.
Yeah.
In Callaway and right here in Broken Bow.
There are. One of them would be Tina Hurt. You'll find Tina now at the Broken Bow location at Nebraska Owners Insurance Agency. Tina licensed in property and casualty and would love to quote your home, auto, farm, and commercial policies. She'll be taking care of the existing customers there. So stop on in and visit with Tina with Nebraska Owners Insurance Agency. Not too far from now, we're going to be into that open enrollment period for health insurance, Medicare, and all of that. And Liana is the person to visit with so that you are ready for that. Liana can answer your questions on your current policies, and she does encourage you, never make a change based on a phone call or a TV ad, because there are plenty of those out there when it comes to open enrollment telling you what you should do. Well, contact Liana, and she can lead you through the process so that you know exactly what to do. Also, they offer crop insurance through Rain and Hail, NAU, and Great American. So when the time comes to discuss that this fall, please give Nebraska Owners Insurance Agency a call to see what they can offer. That's Nebraska Owners Insurance Agency, offices locally in Broken Bow and Callaway.
All right, it's National Read a Book Day today. Now, if you haven't read a book for a while...
Just finished one.
You did?
Yep.
Was it a sports book?
Nope.
Oh.
I am trying to read more. That was just my goal.
Well,
so
that's
my wife went and got the library card, and so we're going in about every 2-3 weeks and getting a book.
What's your most recent read?
I'm into Jack Reacher.
Jack Reacher.
Yep, I'm into the Jack Reacher series.
What sort of stories are those?
He's a military, a former MP who's kind of an investigator.
Oh.
And he's just kind of a drifter, and he always ends up in situations.
I see.
And so then he helps people figure out who the bad guy is.
Well, you know what's going to happen to you from reading?
What's that?
You're going to be improving your memory and your concentration and reduce stress.
Mm.
And for older folks, reading has been found to slow the decline of memory loss and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So you're headed in the right direction. This is National Read a Book Day.
Yeah, we just decided, just a few weeks ago, just like we both look at each other and go, you know what, we're just watching way too much TV. We need to read more.
Yeah, good idea.
So, yeah, that was great, too. Good book.
I think we got some folks in the studio. We also will expect a call in from Mark Stock in just a little bit, so we'll see how we can arrange this while you listen to these words.
Happy September! Come and see us this week at Bow Bootery. We're so excited to pass along savings of 20% on all in-stock Clark styles. A wide variety of colors mean they'll work with lots of outfits. We have brown and black and blue and burgundy and taupe and bronze. From casual to work to dress, there's a Clark style that is perfect for you. And of course, they're comfy too. 20% off in-stock Clarks right now at Bow Bootery on the square in Broken Bow.
Aero Aviation, let us take control.
Remember the time you used to spend fighting weeds and bugs? Now you can spend that time elsewhere because aerial application is your best advantage against these problems. Let Aero Aviation take control.
When you need a helping hand to get the most from your land, Aero Aviation, let us take control.
For over 50 years, Aero Aviation has served the area. Contact Casey for your aerial application today.
Napa know-how.
sun up to sundown. That's the average working day of farmers, truck drivers, and construction workers everywhere. And Napa is here to help you get the job done. During our Napa Gold Filter Sale, September 6th through the 17th, bring in a list of your equipment's oil, air, fuel, and hydraulic filters, and we'll stock you up and save you some hard-earned cash. So what are you waiting for? Daylight's burning. Head to WinQuest for their Napa Gold Filter Sale, September 6th through the 17th at WinQuest Incorporated, serving you since 1925, East Highway 2, Broken Bow.
It is no secret that cybersecurity and keeping your personal information safe and secure is very important. Scammers never stop and will do whatever they can to get your information. Some examples of what to be looking out for are spoofed phone calls, suspicious emails or texts, computer pop-ups, requests for urgent wire transfers or gift card purchases. If you are suspicious of fraud or a scam, always call your bank about the situation. Bruning Bank wants you to stay safe and be diligent about keeping your information secure. Our staff is trained to deal with any type of situation and is happy to help or answer any questions you may have. Bruning Bank. Build, grow, thrive. Member FDIC.
You're listening to the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show with Dave and Brent.
8:21. Dave and Brent, Deb, and Michelle are all together here as a group with a plan.
Wow. Really? A plan?
Plan?
Oh, did we know that?
Yeah.
Did you know that, ladies? We got a plan.
We have a plan. Sure.
Deb, I'm going to have you move that microphone over there for you. So we can
Okay.
hear
There you go. Now we can hear you.
There we go.
And you'll have to let me know. I just got hearing aids. And so my husband says that I'm talking way too softly, but in my head I'm screaming. So you just have to let me know.
We can adjust it over here. So
Oh, good.
it'll
I
be
won't
fine.
worry
You-
about that.
You talk at whatever decibel you like, and we'll be able to control it here.
I won't scream in my head then.
Deb McCaslin is here, and to talk about the Rotary along with Michelle Nelson. How you guys doing?
We're doing great this morning.
Good. Michelle, you dropped me a poster here. You want to start there?
Do we want to start with the Pints for Polio, or?
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Can I just jump in on this Impact Tour?
Absolutely.
We have something that's called the Imagination Impact Tour coming into Arnold and Broken Bow on the 27th of September. This is a tour that's going to go through western Iowa and Nebraska. In Nebraska, the stops are going to be Lincoln, Omaha, York, Grand Island, Kearney, Broken Bow, Arnold, Ogallala, McCook.
Okay.
And you had to apply to be one of the communities where it was going to stop. So we're real tickled it's coming through. When it comes into the community, it's going to showcase the community, talk about the positives of what's going on. Because it's operated through Rotary, we're going to talk a lot about the impact of Rotary, and not so much the impact of Rotary in the community, but the collaboration of Rotary and all the different organizations, and with the city and the hospital and the wind farms and everything that's been going on with Rotary. But it's also going to be a listening session for Rotarians. What are we missing out there? What should we have our eyes on that we're not seeing? And we're hoping that this conversation will be two-way. It will start in Arnold at 9:30.
Okay.
The Rotary Club is doing. They've got the nicest darn Rotary Club. I love going there. They're doing historical markers through the community and through all that area. I think they've got a target of 25 historical markers, and they're up to like 12 or 13 that they've put up.
Wow.
Like at the theater and at the park and different things like that. So it's going to showcase that and showcase what Rotary has done, but also a listening session in Arnold. And then coffee and brunch or lunch. I'm not for sure what it's going to be yet. We have a meeting tomorrow. A lot of the details.
No, a little more then.
More then. Then we'll come into Broken Bow and meet here about 2 o'clock, have a bus tour of the community, and look at all the positive that's going on in the world out there, and then come back to the hospital for a dessert buffet at 3 o'clock, and that's where the listening session will be, and we'll talk a lot more about some of the projects that our Rotary Club is currently involved in locally and on the world scene. And then we'll head out to Kincaider's at 5 for Pints for Polio.
So it's all the same day, 27th.
Yes.
Okay.
We're gonna be
That's how
a
you do
day. My husband last night sat down with a pen and a piece of paper. He goes, okay, on the 27th, I would like to have a working list of where you want me to be and what you want to have delivered where.
Yeah, there you go. Well, this is great. It'll be a great way to, as you say, get information from one another, the old-fashioned networking way, and then end up the day with Pints for Polio. So talk about that a little bit.
Well, the glasses that you see there, it has a sign on that says End Polio Now. This is a special run of beer glasses. It'll say Kinkaters on the back and End Polio Now on the front. And you'll be able to buy these glasses out at Kinkaters for $10 each. Yes, it comes with beer. And that's where the fundraising will be. I wanted to pipe in here for just a minute that polio has reared its ugly head. It's now in all 5 boroughs of New York City. And with our world today, we're only a plane ride, a bus ride, a car ride away from really any place in the world. Polio is in London right now, and it's in New York City. I don't know if it has spread beyond New York City. That I don't know. I should have more information pretty much by the end of the week. But the fact that it's back in the U.S. again is scary.
Yeah, and, you know, it's so interesting. I don't think Michelle's old enough to remember, but Deb and I would remember when they had finally a vaccine for polio, and people just lined up by the thousands to get that shot because everybody was really seeing what it would do and scared what it would do to them and the children especially. And remember going to the Broken Bow Armory.
That's what I was thinking.
And lining up and going through, and by then they'd had it to where you got in a sugar cube. They put the medicine in a sugar, so you didn't have to have the shot. So I wonder if we just recently what we went through with COVID, if we would have just had the medicine in a sugar cube, if we would have got along a little better than we did with all the controversy. But polio is a scary thing. If it's going to spread, we want to get that stopped for sure. Well, you have the iron lung there?
Yes, the iron lung will be there. And in New York City, in one of the boroughs, they have a vaccination rate for polio of less than 60%. And that is really terrifying the CDC right now.
Okay. Big day. So you start in Arnold on the 27th. And you're right, their Rotary's always been strong. They have had a robust exchange program for many years. And now this historical marker goal is phenomenal. And so that will be a great place to start. And then you end up at the hospital up here and talking back and forth and having a big day. Is anybody out there interested? Can they stop into one of these gatherings?
Oh, yes, please. The public is invited.
Okay.
And we were just mentioned Shannon, we are going to take out some advertising because, Frank, you guys do such a good job. My word. We're so thankful to have you.
Well, thanks. Well, we try. We enjoy working with groups such as the Rotary and all of the folks out there that are trying to do something for the community. You just want to help with that because that's what it's all about, really. So.
And it's about collaboration.
Yeah.
You know, as a Rotary Club, we couldn't do in the community what we get done if we didn't collaborate with so many different people and entities. And my goodness, what the fairgrounds does out there. I can't even imagine walking in Michelle's shoes and trying to keep all of those cats herded around.
Yeah, we were just talking to Michelle yesterday, coming back from Arcadia's Fall Festival Parade, and my wife says, doesn't look like maybe there's anything going on at the fairgrounds for a change this weekend. I said, well, you better drive back into the barns to see for sure. And I don't know if there was or wasn't, but I imagine there was.
Yes, we did. We had a pretty big barrel race this past weekend. So we actually have an event every weekend for now until October, the third weekend in October. So,
okay. Well, I think that's one of the things that kind of happens with the fairgrounds because a lot of the events center around showing animals and or horse events, a lot of horse events.
Yes.
And that's tucked clear back in the corner of the fairgrounds. So a lot of the parking and camping is all taking place back there, and people drive by where the carnival used to be and go, well, there must not be anything going on. And, are we wrong? All we need to do is drive on in, which people should do, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Come in and take a look. And
yes.
I think everything that you have for the most part's free of charge to watch, right?
Yes, for the most part it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
So have I talked to you since the fair show I don't think we have.
I don't think so.
Kind of recap that for us. I heard Brent said it was really, really good.
It was good. Everything went really well, and the amount of volunteers that it takes and people stepped up, and like Deb said, the collaboration. We had Rotary there 2 nights taking tickets and working the beer garden, and then you guys were out there to help announce the concert, and it went really well.
Good.
Yes.
Well, it's a lot of work, and you really want people to come and enjoy it when you put all that together with all the different groups, including the Fair Board and you. And I was going to announce you today as Wonder Woman, but I thought you might be embarrassed, so I didn't. But I know you have a family of robust activities of your own going on.
Yes.
And then the Fair Board's always got something going on. And then you're already starting to, I'm sure, think about next year's fair and what you're going to be doing for that.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Never ends.
Never ends, that's for sure.
I think the Wonder Woman is an appropriate title.
I do too.
I mean, because any one of the entities that she takes on would be a full-time job, but she manages to get them all worked around.
Thank you.
Well, I know, Deb, you've been on many different boards and committees and groups, and over the years as the editor of The Chief, and even either side of that time period, grew up here. So you know that it takes a whole group of people to make things happen. And by the way, your husband has a ranch, and I don't know if you farm or not, but you have a ag operation to run.
Yep.
Anytime you're on a board, is what I'm getting at here. Anytime you're on a board, people think, well, they go to a meeting once a month. Well, there's a whole lot of things that go on the rest of the time, isn't there, Michelle?
There is.
Your husband's part of that, so
yeah.
You know, and I think there's a beauty to being on multiple boards, because you understand the strengths of each of the boards that you're on, and so you know what that board can bring to the table and what that board can't bring to the table, just by knowing how it operates and the people that you have around the table.
And then you come to the reality of, this is what we'd like to do, but this is what we'd like to do. What can we do, right?
You're sounding like my husband now. Deb, that's a great idea, but have you really thought this through?
Well, you can get, the enthusiasm can get you in trouble sometimes.
Oh, but it can get you to the end of the line, too.
Always said, you know, we did 18 years of the Blues Fest, and if we did another year, I wouldn't have any friends left.
I love the Blues Fest, though.
But
you guys did such a good job with that.
Well, it was because of the people, just like what you guys are talking about.
And it's the collaboration, and that's something on the 27th that we're really going to highlight, is the collaboration and what this area brings together, and people that just want to work together. And their whole goal is, how can we make things just a little bit better for the person next door?
Okay. Michelle, looking ahead, there's anything on upcoming agendas or anything with the Rotary that you wanted to mention this morning, other than what we're talking about here?
So, actually, we will be on the square Thursday.
Okay.
For the health care on the square. We'll have the Iron Lung there as well. So.
Okay.
A little bit of cornhole.
Oh, great. Yeah. Well, that's going to be a big day. I think Jenny M. Elham has pulled all the stops on this event. The amount of vendors are going to have, how the booths are going to have, and we hope for good weather for that. That's coming up this Thursday.
This Thursday, yes.
Only a couple days away, right?
Yeah.
And I hope people will do the same thing. Take a little time out of your day and stop down and walk around. Most of us probably don't want to talk about our cholesterol and that sort of thing, but if we want to enjoy the rest of our life healthy, these are things we need to talk about, right?
Right.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Well, I think that's the big thing. Rotary meets the first and third Wednesdays at the hospital at noon. Michelle has some real interesting agendas coming up.
Okay.
She brought in a visioning this last week. And we talked a lot about the projects we had going and what was working and what needed a little bit more work, and some things that we needed to just lay to rest. And that was hard for me. It's like, what do you mean you don't want to do that anymore? but it was just a great meeting. Keith Ellis ran it.
Yep.
Oh, good.
And he's just a great Rotarian. He ran a great meeting. And so we came up really to the conclusion that the things that mean the most to us Rotarians are our projects and activities. Mm-hmm. And so we decided on the first and third Wednesday at the hospital, everyone is invited. Come check us out.
Okay. All right. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
Appreciate it very much. Got a little music from the Blackberry Smoke. It's called Let It Burn.
Iron Auction Company coming off the Labor Day holiday. Well, Mark, tell us what you got going on. It's kind of time to move into the fall season now that we're past Labor Day, and I'm sure things are busy with you.
Well, we see the crops change in colors, and we see all the grasses kind of working towards the end of their season. So definitely fall weather. We got football in the air and volleyball as well, so that's always exciting times. And we've got a big sale here September the 7th, over 3,100 items. And then the following week, folks, we've got Husker Harvest Days, and we've got a bunch of property, real estate, and machinery selling, plus some classic cars and some of the Minden Pioneer Village storage facilities items that will sell here coming up pretty soon. Check out the auto horizontal gas engine that was in storage right now. There's been bidding all across the world on that, and it's currently over $200,000 for one of the original gas engines that was manufactured in the 1800s. Go to bigiron.com and just type in auto, O-T-T-O, and take a look at that thing. And I know a lot of people, they said, geez, maybe they should just send that to the scrapyard. But look what something that some folks thought was a scrapyard is now worth over $200,000 with active bidding and it's all on BigIron.com. But boy, do we have a nice lineup of machinery that is going to sell here on the Thursday sale from sellers all across the region. If you're in the market for quality equipment, we encourage you to check out all the items that sell with no reserve. In fact, some of the features selling is the Alvera Bade retirement sale in Beatrice, Nebraska. He's got a 2001 straight truck, folks, that's getting a lot of attention, so please check that out. We've got equipment selling in Atwood, Kansas for Beckley Farms. We've got Ryan Renschlinger from Atkinson, Nebraska, selling some equipment. Bulk Transportation Company West out of Scotts Bluff has got items selling. Chad King in Newman Grove, Nebraska has got equipment selling. We just got a whole host of harvesting equipment, folks, with combines, with corn heads. We got draper heads. We've got flex heads. There's lots of augers selling. There's conveyors. There's grain carts. There's grain backs. There's ag baggers and ag bag unloaders that are being sold here on the September 7th sale. So please dial up Big Iron for that information. We've got a lot of fall tillage tools and some air seeders and some grain drills that are selling. We know wheat's a popular topic, and so is rye here for some of the carbon credits that you can probably get on your land if you plant some rye. So check that out. You can buy those items on Big Iron, and, of course, every item represented by the owner. We've got a lot of semi-trucks and grain trailers and cattle pots and stock trailers and service pickups and drive-to-church on Sunday cars and pickups as well. So please visit all of those sellers. And, of course, we've got a whole host of other additional retirements, like Jim Eshelman from Erickson, Nebraska. His sale will be on BigIron.com this Wednesday. We've got a nice lineup of equipment selling in Lebo, Kansas for John Davies on his retirement sale. That particular auction, folks, features 52 items, and they've got a Vermeer 605 XL net wrap baler. They have got a 2001 Titan 24-foot gooseneck livestock trailer. They got a 1976 International 4586 tractor. That's a four-wheel drive that's selling as well, so check that out. We have got Lehman Harvesting LLC in Newton, Kansas, selling some equipment. We have got a tremendous offering of equipment selling for MC Containers LLC out of Hershey, Nebraska. And if you're in the market, folks, for construction-related equipment, check out the bulldozers, the excavators. We've got some pan scrapers, and they're all selling once again this Wednesday. And today is Tuesday, even though it feels like a Monday, but that would be tomorrow on BigIron.com. Dial up the Big Iron website, and if you have any questions, call the Big Iron reps as well. And we're listing equipment now that will sell in November and December. And, in fact, if you want to be in our big November-December fall auction catalog sale with your real estate or with your machinery and your equipment, you need to get a hold of your Big Iron rep today, because the deadline is the week of Husker Harvest Days. And we don't need to list all of your equipment, but we sure want to get your headliner pieces and a couple pictures taken of the top items, and save that date for your retirement sale on BigIron.com. So you can always reach us at 1-800-937-3558, or you can go to our website at BigIron.com, and at the bottom of the screen there, your page, when you scroll to the bottom, it says Sell Your Equipment. Click on that and send us your name and your phone number, and we'll reach out to you or have your area rep contact you. But remember, Husker Harvest Days 2 next week. We'll be there live on location. That starts on Tuesday, and come on over and check out all the equipment that's going to be selling on two lots. We've got our standard lot there at Husker Harvest Days that we've had for 25-plus years, but they've also given us a lot there on the north end of the grounds where we're going to have a lot of equipment that is selling this fall parked there so you can inspect it. If you've got plans of expanding your farming operation, you need quality equipment, we'll help you look at all those items and help you download the Big Iron Auction app on your smartphone and your mobile device. And remember, the first 500 people that come to our booth every day get these real fancy 5-gallon yellow buckets. So come to BigIron.com during Husker Harvest Days next week. That's our report for this week, and we're excited about the football season. And we've got a 6 o'clock evening game for Nebraska Cornhuskers. We get a lot of people that come from Broken Bow and around in Custer County over to the tailgate parties because they listen to this station. So if you're a Big Iron customer and a fan of KCNI, come on over to the Big Iron tailgate in Lot 7. We're west of Memorial Stadium. Look for the yellow tents amongst the sea of red this upcoming Saturday.
All right, that sounds good, Mark. A lot of things going on. You'll be in Lincoln. You'll be at Husker Harvest Days. I know you will, but boy, enjoy all of the great festivities you're going to be involved in.
We work hard, we play hard, and we hope everybody else out there stops by and visit us at both locations, Grand Island and/or any of the football games, and at your local high school. So we have our reps; they show up there all the time. They live in the areas and the communities in which they service. So you'll see the reps at the football and volleyball games in your local high schools throughout this fall season too. So thank you very much for supporting your local athletics and your local communities, as Big Iron likes to do the same.
All right, Mark. Well, thanks for the report. Always enjoy visiting with you each and every week, and we'll talk to you next Tuesday.
Thank you.
That's Mark Stock joining us on the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show.
15 before the hour of 9 o'clock. You're listening to KCNI KBBN Radio, Broken Bow, Nebraska. Up next, we bring you our guests from the Custer County corn growers. Guy Mills and Don Cantrell are here. Gentlemen, welcome. Thanks a lot for coming in.
Good morning, and thank you for having us.
All right. First of all, I want to apologize. Brent, I offered Don some coffee, and there's no coffee in the pot. So I think he thinks I was probably just teasing him because I said, "You want a cup of coffee?" He says, "Sure." And I said, "Oh, sorry. That's all I could come up with. Sorry, Don."
Actually, I think he thought I would just say, "No, I don't care for any coffee," and he'd be off the hook. But
well, just
it's Monday.
Show you,
it's almost Monday. It's the day after. I guess
feels like it.
It feels
really
like Monday.
Would you like to finish off one of our cups, Don? We'd be more than happy to share it with you.
Well, I'm on water. All right, guys. Always enjoy when you come in and visit because we learn lots of interesting things about the most important industry we have here in central Nebraska and all over the state and this region. That's growing crops. And Don, you brought a ear of corn with you. Did you want to start there?
Sure, we can. I always like show and tell in school, and so any opportunity I get, I try to have some show and tell. So I have an ear here this morning that was hailed right at tossling time. So when we had those 90-mile-an-hour winds, and you can see it's tipped back. Most all the ears that haven't been damaged, or the plants that haven't, are kernels right to the very tip.
Mm-hmm.
So we've lost an inch at least there. The ear isn't as big as typical.
Right.
And then you can see there's quite a number of kernels that didn't go ahead and develop. So that's just kind of the results of what happens when you have a storm. It was not only the hail that got us this year, the wind, the excessive winds really broke a lot of the plants off. So I'm going to break this in half. And I don't know if you're familiar with milk line.
I've heard about it.
Okay. So you can see right where it's darker there, it starts from the outside end of the kernel, and that tells you what the maturity is. So it's about a quarter of the way down, and the corn is mature when it gets clear to the kernel, or the tip of the kernel.
Okay.
And at that point, it's about 28, 30 moisture corn, something like that. So we're down to, about 10 days irrigation on this field probably. So
yeah, let me ask you. I've happened to talk to a producer this past weekend, and they were indicating that a lot of the fields, even with all the heat we have, we're just denning and we're a little ways behind due to the weather conditions. So you're getting a little bit of everything, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, we got a lot of spider mites coming in now, and that's killing the plants off a little early. We got some ears that are starting to drop. So it's last year was by far the best crop we'd ever had. Now we're going to put the average back to where average is, because it's not going to be a good one this year.
And that's,
although some fields I think will be really good that haven't been hit. But the heat, we just haven't had any help with rain. And so you really struggle to get enough water on there to keep it wet enough. So
well, it's been so spotty, Guy. I mean, if you talk to different producers, and it's a different story every 20, 30 miles, isn't it?
It is. We got hit with frost there early on our soybeans, had to replant them. Then they got hailed twice. So after the replant, or after the frost. And then, of course, there's been the wind and a tremendous amount of damage. There was pivots lost by, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds of pivots, grain bins and trees blown over, a lot of green snap. There was one flood that took out a lot of corn, and then we had a lot of heat and dry weather. But, you know, for the fields that haven't had all those things to them, there's still a fair crop, but it's nothing like, as Don mentioned, as last year. You know, last year we talked about Langley's and how did they, and the smoke affect the yield, and in the end, I think it probably helped the yield, to all-time record highs for this area. And now this year, as Don mentioned, we're back to average.
Yeah, I think it's good to talk about this for the listener out there who isn't directly involved in what you guys do, because we hear those record bushels per acre and they kind of stick in your head, and then we come along with a year like this and everybody kind of goes about their business because there's no as many highlights to talk about. And I think sometimes we need to realize that you guys understand the average. That when you have a good year, there's some not so good years coming as soon as like this the next year. So it's an average of what you guys are dealing with. Unfortunately, guys, the inputs are not average for this year, and probably part of last year with everything that's went on.
Yeah,
with
fertilizer pretty well tripled what it was, and but our price of corn is still really good. I don't know what cash is right now. I suppose it's
$8 or more.
Is it still $8 for new crop? We're probably at $6, aren't we?
Yeah,
somewhere in there.
But I'd like
Which
to talk
are good
about
prices.
the fertilizer. It went up almost 4 times. Actually, it went up 367%, and our corn growers filed a petition, or I guess comments in the Federal Register about that. And we had a resolution here in our local Custer that got adopted at the state level and then forwarded to the national at Corn Congress, and it got passed. And in that resolution was a desire there to bring about price transparency and competition in the fertilizer market. National Corn did have a tremendous win here just about a month ago in that they were able to get the tariffs removed from Trinidad and Tobago that were coming into the country. And because there was Mosaic and CF Industries are really the only 2 players in the fertilizer industry, and they claimed that they were getting harmed, and they were able to install tariffs on the fertilizer into the country, so that was part of it. But in Mosaic's own minutes, they bragged, literally, that they increased their profit margins 19 times because farmers had $6 corn and they would pay it. And that was their own minutes, and that was the comments that we put into the Federal Register. And we met with Fisher's staff and told her that, and she was very receptive to that. It's pretty much just what happened to the cattle industry. It's what she's working on with Senator Grassley on their bill. But we hope there can be something that could be brought forward, to give competition back into the fertilizer industry, because we definitely need it. And as everyone is aware of what's happened in Ukraine, there's a lot of dynamics. That's 12% of the world's calories come out of that Ukrainian area. And so when that had an invasion there, it done all sorts of things, on the energy side, which causes inflation and everything. So there's a lot of dynamics that are moving on.
It's amazing, and that's kind of what the corn growers is all about, getting involved in those sorts of actions through legislation.
Oh, absolutely. And we just had our 50th anniversary here in last August, and there was 5 national presidents there that were actually from Nebraska, and one of those, even Lynn Crisp here, from actually a native from Custer County, talked about how he brought about the RMA into the Farm Bill years ago, which gave us crop insurance. So when we have these terrible situations like Don here on his corn, and at least we can have insurance. So those are the things that are there, and it's really it's interesting. That's why membership is so important. We have atrazine getting pushed back from the EPA currently. They want to take our atrazine away, and you think, well, why is that important? And like on my farm, we use Zidua and maybe Armazon, but even if you put a quarter of a pound or half a pound of atrazine with it, it has a synergistic effect. It helps your weed control, and then that allows no-till. So there's maybe a better chance in these dry years to raise a crop, with no-till rather than, in conventional methods. So there's a lot of things that are really beneficial for membership. Some of those things aren't seen, like there was some, in let's say in the Truman and Roosevelt administration, there was a lot of price controls, because of the World War II. And then, of course, in the Vietnam War, we had price controls on meat through the Nixon administrations. And we asked them, just don't do those things to agriculture. The Carter administration had an embargo the last time the Russians invaded Afghanistan. And we were concerned about that. Don't use food as a weapon, because it has detrimental and disastrous effects. So those are the kinds of things that a membership gets in. Texas A&M is currently doing a study right now, and Kelly Brunkhorst said I visited with him, asked him if he had the latest data on that, and he said it'd probably be a while, but it will be thousands of dollars extra on these tariffs per farm in Custer County, tens of thousands. So it is going to be a very beneficial thing on what has been happened.
All right, Guy, thanks. And I know we could have you in once a week, once a month, and update us, and maybe we should do that sometime, just have you come in, because we're not going to have time today, but I'd like to talk about ethanol with you sometime because of all the different things that are happening out there right now with the push on electric vehicles and so forth. Maybe we can do that sometime.
Okay, we could. I would love to.
Okay. Now, Don, let's talk a little bit about what's coming up. You guys have another annual gathering, tour, and not only do you guys talk about legislative actions, you also, of course, just learn from one another and show each other things that maybe worked on a particular farm. And I imagine that's what you're up to tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah, we're having a tour of our test plot that Jeremy Coleman has put in. And so it'll start at 5:30. This is Wednesday the 7th, tomorrow. And we'll be at Jeremy's shop. Our lunch will be served by Smoking Hot Barbecue, so we'll have a fantastic meal.
That'll be good. And, folks, that's just down the Callaway Road. And there's a nice big metal sign out there with Jeremy's, somebody's artwork on the road, so it won't be too hard to find, right?
Yeah, it's 4 miles west?
4 miles west and a mile south.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Coleman family. It takes an enormous amount of time to plant a crop, and we've had about I think there's 10 different seed companies there, and we just limited it to the 2 hybrids that are most typically planted in Custer County. So it gives a farmer a chance to really look at what would my farm look like if I had this particular hybrid planted.
Okay.
And I'd like to thank the Colemans for doing all that, because it is a tremendous amount of work.
Yeah, and a lot of conversations around good food. Again, as non-producers, we talk with Arrow Seed, and we talk with different people about, and you mentioned different methods of farming these days. It's kind of fun to listen to what you guys are doing to try to stay solid and in the farming business with things like cover crops and low till and strip till and all those sorts of things. I'm sure you guys, if you were a fly in the corner, you'd hear a lot of conversations about different things tomorrow at the Coleman place.
Farming is kind of a disease, incurable, but it's something you either have a passion for it or you don't. If you love it, it's as in any industry, it's not work, it's just fun. I always say I just go out and play with my toys every day. They just keep getting a little bigger.
Yeah, they are bigger. Are you guys having a speaker or two for this event?
We're having an update from Catherine Burns. She's from the Nebraska Corn Growers, and she is executive director of director services. So she's going to just basically speak on membership. We kind of laid back this year. It's been a tough year for everyone, so we thought maybe just let everybody have a relaxing evening.
Okay.
You get people together, and they like to visit, and so it's nice to give them lots of time to visit.
Yeah. And the meal and a speaker's a good thing, but conversation is probably as beneficial as anything. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. People learn from other people, and that's what we always have that theme there, and we want to just let them talk to each other, and then show the benefits of what 50 years have happened. Because we've actually had our Custer County local now this is going into our 11th year already.
I remember when you guys formed it. The first one was down the road here, and pickups everywhere. What's the membership? Where's it at right now?
It's the same, $180, but you get $150 back, and that's for 3 years. So that's what, $13.33 a year. And what's it worth to you to get atrazine, or what's it worth to you to get $20,000 off your fertilizer bill because they had organization there on the tariffs? I mean, or what's it worth, not to have an embargo placed upon crops like happened in the Carter administration. So that's what we really want to do. And I guess at the 50th anniversary that we had celebrated there, when I heard all those speakers talk, that it actually helped start the ethanol industry in Nebraska, like Senator Schrock, it just gave you a really appreciation of what their efforts were and how important it is to be involved at a grassroots level. And that's what we really want to, your voice does matter.
It does.
And we are becoming a smaller and smaller percent of the population all the time, and probably won't change any time in the foreseeable future. And that's why we just want your if you don't want to get too much involved, you can get involved locally or at the state level or even at the national level. Like I said, there's been 5 national presidents from Nebraska. So if you want to get involved, we ask that the young generation, step forward and we can show you the way and help develop your leadership skills.
All right, Don?
We're probably going to run you over, but I haven't talked about the railroad crossing yet.
Oh, well,
we're still working on it.
Let's get the update.
We're coming up on 10 years. We've got the plan all put together. It just we haven't got the contract signed. The railroad has sent the money. They closed 2 different crossings in Custer County, and they sent $150,000 to the county. So we have the money. We just don't have the paper signed, so we can go ahead, and that money is to go towards fixing that crossing at the Andersons at Anselmo. So it's still hot and heavy on the burner. I didn't know it would take most of a lifetime to get it going, but it's just the way it's worked out. So
I think you're a patient man, Don. I know that we talked about it 10, 11 years ago, and we're going to get this. We're going to get this taken care of for the safety of everybody. And if you're just tuning in, that's the turn in that goes to the Anderson elevator, right near Anselmo, this side of Anselmo, and you've gotten 2 crossings closed, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you've made some progress, but man, talk about a teeth grinder! Wow.
Yeah, I think I've kind of lost track, but I think I'm working with the 5th or 6th person with the railroad, and that's really what's really been kind of a headache.
Mm-hmm.
They would move on to a different position, and then we'd kind of start over.
Yeah.
And so now we're finally getting to the end.
Yeah.
This person's been here quite a bit longer, so.
Getting close.
We think so. I've said that many times.
I know, but thanks for doing that and being so patient and persistent, because, knock on wood, we've not lost anybody at that crossing, but we know there's that potential.
Yeah, people have been very diligent, so that's great.
That's good.
We'll get it fixed.
All right. So for folks out there who are listening and not farmers, we've been talking about it, being careful. As long as we have you here, let's talk about it. We'll go a little over. That's not unusual here. But we do know that traffic's going to pick up here pretty soon with trucks and all the equipment that you guys have to move from one field to another. When will we start seeing that pick up a little bit more? There's some chopping going on right now.
Yeah, I understand that some dryland corn has already been harvested and taken to Adams's. That's what I'd heard this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll pick up in about 2 weeks. It'll get really, really going. And so
we just ask everybody, I mean, look at Don's patience for 10 years on the railroad. If you could just give us 10 more seconds when you come up behind our combine, that's all we need. And don't get too close to it, because you can't see. And some of the combines now are getting cameras in the back or in their grain carts so we can see. But it takes a while, and just be patient with us. We got a crop combine and harvest, and if you just take a little extra time, we would certainly appreciate it.
Yeah.
And when you pull out in front of a semi, you're taking your life into your own hands, and that's year-round, but particularly during harvest, because we just can't get them stopped in a short amount of time. So
yeah, well,
just
you put the brakes on a truck and it's got a load on, you just smell brakes. That's all you get done for a while, right? Yeah. And the other side of that, too, is, I'll just put it out to some of the truckers out there, because I know there's not full-time truckers that drive year-round, that they drive during harvest and so forth. And I know they're in a hurry sometimes, but, we as pedestrians and drivers, sometimes we get frustrated when they see us coming, they go ahead and pull out, because they're in a hurry. So we all need to work back and forth a little bit. Yeah. So we'll see it in a couple weeks. A couple weeks, we'll start seeing the
harvest,
traffic.
Yeah, harvest will really start picking up.
All right.
Guys, back to tomorrow. Do people need to pre-register for this? Do they just show up?
Oh, absolutely not. Show up.
Just show up.
And that's anybody. The young kids, FFA, there's always something to learn. Or any business. I know food is high priced nowadays, and it's a part of your budget. Pre-pandemic, it was 8.6 of your disposable income. Now they're saying somewhere probably closer to 12. So we hear you. Mm-hmm. But come out and listen and learn on how it is. And I mean, out of a food dollar, it's about 82% transportation and 18% actually food. So, but just come out and learn where your food comes from. I mean, there's always things, and there will be people from the Nebraska side and the state side that can explain all that.
Good.
Yeah, if we didn't learn anything so far from the Ukrainian situation, we realized that food travels a long ways before it's actually on the table, and that had a dramatic effect on third world countries who relied on that grain and so forth. So, a lot of the cost comes with transporting it, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah. Well, guys, come back and see us. Maybe not just before this. Guy, I'd like to talk to you about ethanol, and I'd like to get to understand the carbon capture thing just a little bit better someday.
Well, you put my name on that list too. We're still trying to figure out, but there's a lot of people that want to do something about the climate, and we think agriculture can be a part of the solution. I mean, look what a corn plant does. They're worried about the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. A corn plant takes carbon dioxide and through photosynthesis uses it up and releases oxygen. And that's an amazing thing to help on the climate.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that sometime when we know a little more. I'm like you. I'm kind of like talk to the guys in the electric side of things, and they're talking about carbon capture and all that. And it just kind of goes over my head, to be honest with you. It's kind of confusing.
It is. Yes, it is.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys.
Yep. Well, thank you very much for the time.
Don, did you have any sweet corn this year?
Yep.
Was it pretty good?
It was really good.
Good.
Yeah. We always overplant because we have a lot of raccoons that like sweet corn too.
Yeah.
So we put electric fence around it, but they're creative and they can dig holes, and so they just dug under. But we had enough for them and for us both.
Good. Everybody's happy. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
The news is next on the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show.
You are listening to the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. Go, go, go! On KCNI, KBBN, Broken Bow, Nebraska.
CBS News Brief. Students have been heading back to classrooms in Uvalde, Texas today for the first time since the mass shooting at Robb Elementary in May. KNES 5 TV's Alyssa Telez says only some new security measures are in place.
The district will be installing 8-foot non-scalable walls. Security cameras will also be installed, but so far the cameras have only been completely installed at Uvalde High School.
2 people have been killed, 1 badly burned in a wildfire in Riverside County, California. CAL FIRE Captain Richard Cordova.
We have a number of businesses and major utilities that are working with their big customers that have taken steps to be prepared to reduce their demand.
The state facing its highest energy demands on record. Liz Truss got the Queen's seal of approval today, becoming the UK's new Prime Minister. Brit Robert Conway weighing in.
A new team, a new start, but it's going to be a challenging job.
Outgoing Boris Johnson promises fervent support. CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, Here's Brian Fenley.
A lot of talk going into the number 4 Clemson football season was their quarterback play. And DJ Uiagalelei, and would he step up this season and improve off last year? Well, last night, he certainly looked like he did second half against Georgia Tech.
Looks back of the end zone now, rolls right side, going to throw back of the end zone, and caught, touchdown, Bo Collins. Ex-high school teammate to high school teammate there. The LA connection for 6, and it's 13-0 Clemson.
Clemson Radio Network, Uiagalelei had a touchdown pass and a touchdown run in the Tigers' 41-10 victory over Georgia Tech. Last night at the U.S. Open 4th round, American Francis Tiafoe beating Rafa Nadal in 4 sets, and Carlos Alcaraz into the quarterfinals as well, battling past Marin Cilic in 5.
Here's your weatherology forecast. High temperatures on the hot side for today, reaching into the upper 90s with mostly sunny skies. Then for tonight, clear and calm, low of 59. For Wednesday, still well above average with a high temperature of 96. Thursday, sunny and hot, reaching 100 degrees. And then for Friday, at least a slight chance for a shower or storm will ease back into the lower 80s. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm staff meteorologist Michael Caro.
News and weather was brought to you today by Custer Electric and Irrigation in Broken Bow. Custer Electric and Irrigation is your place for all things pivots and electrical. Call today to schedule your fall pivot maintenance, to quote a brand new Zomatic pivot with 0% financing, and ask how they can save you $500 on a new sprinkler package. With harvest coming, make sure your grain bins are in top working order by having them checked over or even rewired. They also carry the widest range of fuses and capacitors in town. Call today at 872-7786. Check them out on Facebook or at custerei.com. That's Custer Electric and Irrigation at 872-7786 on Facebook or at custerei.com. Custer Electric and Irrigation. Experience the difference.
There are fewer words sweeter in the state of Nebraska than Go Big Red. And Geared for Sports in Broken Bow is ready to help you cheer for the Huskers. New Husker gear arrivals are hitting their racks in men's and women's sizes. Perfect for showing your team spirit. And remember, when you need to gear up for the sports you are playing, visit Geared for Sports, west side of the square in Broken Bow. Open Monday to Friday 10 to 6 and Saturday 10 to 4.
It's 11 past the hour. We have more guests in the studio. Off-Broadway's coming in. Also, before we close the show, we had a request for a special song this morning we're going to play before we end the program today. And, Brent, maybe you can just kind of encapsulate that for us, if you would.
Well, sure. We're going to play Song of the Sandhills before the show is over because, well, I think many of you are familiar with John Hunt. John wrote a book about the Sandhills, and there was a song that kind of went along with the book. And I'd have to bring up my text message, but I want to say that maybe the parents of the person who wrote and performed the song have been in the area. So we'll try to play it on the radio so they can get a sample of that.
All right, we'll be doing that before we close the show today. Do want to let you know that the Cozad Chamber is looking for vendors to participate in their Arts in the Park event on September 10th. So that is coming up this weekend, and you can get a booth for only $25. Get a hold of Chantel at the Cozad Chamber at 308-784-3930. The event is held in conjunction with the Cozad Heydays. There'll be many fun activities going on in Cozad. It's a great event, and they'd love to have you showcase your business at the Arts in the Park September 10th. You can find the registration form and more details on their Facebook page, Cozad Chamber of Commerce. Again, call them at 308-784-3930 for more details. The deadline is today, September 6th, so call them before the day ends today. Also, wanted to mention before we get along too far here that we have a note here, and I just want to make sure that this is clear. This is not Brent's school he went to when he was in high school. This is the Loup County Public Schools.
I believe you would be correct.
I made that mistake earlier, so I wanted to clarify here that Brent didn't go to school in Taylor. He went to school in Loup City, but It's a great school at Taylor. Anybody would love to go to a school that size, have those size classrooms, and enjoy the educational process at the Loup County Public Schools. Right now, they're accepting applications for a full-time custodian. So be a great place to work. Work would be mostly in the afternoon into the evening with some nights and weekend hours. During the summer, you would work daytime hours. Competitive wages based on experience with a comprehensive benefit package and retirement benefit. Contact the school at 308-942-6115 for more information. This listing is also on the employment page of Sandhills Express. 68 degrees outside here at Broken Bow. The sun is winning the battle. Sunshine day. We're going to get up into the mid to upper 90s today, Brent. It's going to be a hot one tomorrow, I believe it is. Or, yeah, tomorrow, 101.
Oh, wow, really? They're talking 100 yet this week.
It's either tomorrow or the next day we'll be up around 101, just to kind of top off September, to kind of get it going. So we'll take a time out. When we come back, we're going to have our guests in the studio from Off-Broadway. Don't forget, we're going to play that song before we go. And Brent has a few more things that he wants to tell you about here this morning. I better move the song from the Sandhills or I'll be playing it next. There we go. We'll take a time out.
She's beautiful. I love you.
Look, Daddy, I made you this.
Our little girl is growing up.
Dad, I just want to tell you I love you.
I just want to grow old with you.
They mean the world to you. Protect them for life with life insurance.
Clang Financial can help you create an individualized solution to protect your family with life insurance. Call Clang Financial today for a free consultation at 872-6810.
Big news. Joe Biden plans to hire 87,000 new IRS employees. Bloomberg says that this means more IRS audits. Now, Rob Schmidt takes on this new IRS army and the dangers to you. Watch Rob Schmidt at 7 p.m. Eastern tonight as he exposes this big power grab. Find Newsmax on major cable systems. If your system doesn't carry it, call them. Demand Newsmax. And watch Rob Schmidt tonight. He's fighting for you. Newsmax is real news for real people.
On the south side, we got 6 poly panels, and please make sure they're flush.
Kwame is converting everyone on the block to solar power.
Please get a crew to wrap up 202 South Duane.
He needs more certified installers before the sun sets on his business boom.
Let's pick up the pace. We got a long day.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
9:17. Our guests are in. We're ready to talk about Off-Broadway, downtown Broken Bow, right on First Avenue. They have an elevator. I don't remember how many stories the building is, but
3.
It's 3. It's full of really fun people, all 3 stories. And they have a kitchen, and they make real good food and goodies in the kitchen. And have you ever had their ice cream, Brent?
I don't think I have. No, I don't think so.
They got a maker of the soft ice cream.
Nice.
Yep.
Always a bonus.
Jody, how you doing over there?
I'm good. How about you?
Real good.
Good. Are you behaving yourself?
Yeah.
Well, he was.
Scares me.
Something about you girls just bring out the orneriness in me. I don't really know why.
I'm say that silence kind of made me nervous.
Welcome to my world.
I'm going to turn it over to Brent so that he can conduct the interview without interruption from my so-called humor.
Where would you guys like to start? You want to start with employment opportunities?
Sure.
Okay.
We can definitely do that. So we've got the new starting wage at $17. That's the base. So for part-time, we are still needing kitchen assistants, housekeeping, and transportation, which might be filled. We don't know yet. The medication aid day shift is part-time, but we're starting that out at $19 and then plus experience. And that also does include the personal time off. And if you refer somebody for one of those positions, then you could be getting $250 back with the qualifying payout, plus the employee gets that also.
Now that's for part-time, right?
Part-time.
So there is a referral for part-time too.
Yes.
I don't know if I knew that. Okay, well that's great.
Yep.
So if you know somebody that just needs a little side job or something to do, give us a call.
Okay. All right. So those are the part-time opportunities.
Yes.
All right. Do you have some full-time?
So the full-time, we have medication aid night shift, which starts out at $20 base, and then we'll add for experience. And then resident service coordinator starts out at $24 base. We'll add experience for that also. But for that one, you must hold a current LPN or RN license through the state of Nebraska.
Okay.
So, and then that has a $500 referral bonus for anybody that refers an employee for one of those. And with the qualifying payout, so they and the employee gets that.
Okay. On the part-time opportunities, are a lot of those positions kind of designated hours, or is there flexibility in the hours?
It depends on which one.
On the job?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
But we try to be flexible most of the time.
I know you do.
So.
Yeah. Okay. And if they have any questions about any of these opportunities, just contact you guys, right?
Yep.
At Off-Broadway?
Yep. They can call me at 308-872-2522.
All right.
The first step is just come in, visit us, and get an application so we can get that started. So
okay.
Yep. And then we'll get them and with Jody, and they can discuss options. So
right.
Yep.
So the application process is basically written. You come in, get an application.
Yep.
It's not, you don't apply online or anything like that.
No.
Okay.
No, you can. Yeah, there is an application online that they can print off and just bring in if they would like.
Okay.
Or they can fill it out there if they want and get the process started there. So.
All right.
Yep.
Sounds good. What else is going on?
We do have still the referral bonus for residents as well. So if you know of somebody, the weather's starting to get kind of changing, and so this is the time to take advantage of getting moved in, getting settled before the snow flies.
Yeah.
So, because it's no fun moving and worrying about your loved ones while during the winter, making sure that they're getting food and they're snow scooped, and so this is the opportunity for us to take care of them.
I just imagine that your residents, when they arrive go through their first winter at Off-Broadway, they just look out the window and view the snow in a whole different way when they know they don't have to deal with it.
Yep, they do not have to do anything. We take care of, if they have a doctor's appointment, we can transport them up to the clinic or wherever their appointment is in town. They don't have to scoop. They don't have to go anywhere if they don't need to. If they need groceries, we do that for them. I mean, literally, we take care of them. They don't have to worry about a thing. No meals. We have people cook for them. So
there you go.
Yep.
And I know you do a lot of things, interactive things within Off-Broadway, as far as, people coming together and doing activities and all of that.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun activities. They're still utilizing the gazebo. They go sit over there as well as sit out front. You will see them sitting out front just underneath the awning and enjoying the cool breeze that goes through there. And it's a huge peace of mind for family members that they don't have to worry about their loved ones at all because we take care of them.
Yeah. And of course, family members are welcome anytime.
Yep.
I mean, we keep talking about the residents, but the extended family, kind of part of your family too, in a way, aren't they?
Sure, they come in and they sometimes take their residents out, and sometimes they just come and eat lunch with them, and they take advantage of what we have to offer as well. So that's the nice thing about Off-Broadway is that we're such a family-oriented group that we love to have them there to see their residents, as well as when they're not around, we're there to take care of them for them. So.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Anything else that you wanted to mention that maybe we haven't touched on yet?
No, just come work with us, and if you have a loved one that needs, our loving, tender care, we would love to have them.
All right.
May I ask a question now, Brent?
Well, I would say that's up to you, Dave. Or should I ask them if they want you to ask a question?
Yes.
They didn't respond, but I guess you can ask it anyway.
Do you offer, now you have the bonus program, and then your starting wage is
17 base.
Do you offer your employees other benefits such as peanut butter sandwiches?
We have an amazing lunch that we can take advantage of, and they always have snacks for us.
But do you offer peanut butter sandwiches? That's a question I'm asking.
That is on the substitute list.
All right. Now, if you do you offer the peanut butter sandwiches with the peanut butter with the nuts in it, or just the plain?
Jody?
The peanut butter with the nuts is only for you, Dave.
Oh, ooh.
Yikes.
Because you're a little nutty.
Jody, can I just, since we're tight, can I call you Jode?
Sure.
Okay. And do you prefer Jess? Jessica?
Jess is fine.
Jessie?
My mom's the only one that calls me Jessie.
I'll scratch that one off then. Okay. And then if you really wanted to entice someone with a benefit, would you add grape jelly to that peanut butter sandwich?
We'll take that under advisement for you, Dave.
I'm going to write that down.
Prunes?
Advisement. No, not prunes. No, thank you on that one.
Well,
all right, I'm going to document
it's an option.
that. All right, I'm going to put that in your file. Thank you.
Okay. You do that.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
What's the phone number there again?
308-872-2522, and also check out our Facebook page at Off-Broadway Apartments, as well as offbroadwayapartments.com.
Okay. And just so folks know, because of federal, state guidelines, I assume you're still requiring a mask when you visit, unless you're in the rooms with that person, right?
And make sure that you check in at the front through the process, and then wear a mask throughout the building. But when you're in the room, in the residence room, you don't have to wear them. Yep.
As long as you're social distancing.
Yeah, social distancing, always.
And one last very important question. Do you allow the folks who live there to put salt on their cucumbers?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let me mark that down. Yes. Thank you.
I think he's wanting to move in.
Well,
or work there, one of the two.
You got to have salt on your sliced cucumbers. I mean, that's.
I would agree with that. Sure.
And pepper.
Do you put pepper on too?
Sure.
Do you? Do you like cottage cheese?
Once in a while.
Once in a while. Do you like salt and pepper on your cottage cheese?
Yeah.
Yeah. Brent?
Yeah, absolutely.
Jess?
No, thank you.
Salt and pepper on everything for me.
I try to hold back on the salt, but I can't on the cucumbers. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm able to with watermelon. I used to think I had to have salt on watermelon.
Oh, got to have salt on watermelon.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's so sweet. I mean, it's like eating candy.
Yeah.
Do you have watermelon there as well?
Yes.
On occasion?
Yep.
In season, I assume.
Yep.
Okay. Don't have to mow the lawn. Don't have to scoop the snow. Don't have to, worry about the house. You get peanut butter sandwiches if you ask, I think, with nuts, possible. Cucumbers with salt. Come on. It's a
the
no-brainer.
amenities are endless.
Yep. And you get to ride the elevator.
Yeah, up and down and up. Here's Bonnie Raitt.
It starts out slow. Let's go ahead and go. Pretty soon the melody is like a rainstorm tin roof symphony. But it starts out slow.
Bonnie Raitt's one of her latest called Made Up Mind right here on the Breakfast Show. Brent Apperson and Dave Burney running a little over time, but that's more often the case than not, so we're not going to worry about that on this Tuesday morning. Brent has a couple more things he'd like to tell you about before we close the show, and we have a song for you that was requested, and we'll do that before we go back to our regular broadcast on both stations.
If you have diabetes or know someone who does, there's going to be a very special presentation coming up in the month of September presented at the Broken Bow Public Library. This is being sponsored by Community Connection and the Broken Bow Seventh-day Adventist Church. It's called Diabetes Undone. Did you know type 2 diabetes can be undone? Come enjoy an 8-step video-based course designed to help shift your diabetes paradigm, equip you to reverse diabetes, and rewrite your health history. Now, the first 2 steps in this program will be presented on Monday, September 12th. That'll be step 1, change your paradigm. And then step 2, treat the cause, presented on Thursday, September 15th. Now, both presentations will begin at 7 o'clock next week, and then they'll have other sessions to be announced. The course fee is $60, but there is a 50% refund for those who complete the program. And again, this will be presented at the Broken Bow Public Library. To register or for more information, you can contact one of these numbers, 518-802-8451 or 308-872-3423. Again, this is sponsored by Community Connection and Broken Bow Seventh-day Adventist Church, and this will be presented on Monday, September 12th, and on Thursday, September 15th at the Broken Bow Public Library.
Thank you, Brent. That was swell.
Thanks.
Nice job on that one.
Well, thanks.
Oh, it's Telephone Tuesday.
Is it now? We're celebrating the telephone?
This is weird, but the Tuesday after Labor Day is one of the busiest telephone days of all the year.
Really?
Yep. Typically, that's when businesses' phones blow up. Now that summer's over and everyone's getting back to work, it's also a big day for bill collectors.
Oh.
On average, phone calls go up about 34% compared to any other day of the year. Today.
Really?
That is right.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's just in from CBS.
Oh, well, thank you, Dave.
Sure.
Here's a couple of job opportunities posted for you on sandhillsexpress.com. Central Nebraska Community Action Partnership looking for an individual to work as an infant toddler cook in Broken Bow. Good starting wage, great benefits. Looking for someone with their high school diploma or equivalent, previous experience working with infants up to 3 years old and their families. Purchase food and prepare meals complying with USDA requirements, responsible for cleaning classroom and doing dishes, laundry, etc. If you need an application, contact CNCAP at 308-745-0780. Extension is 0. Or you can apply online by going to their website, which is centralnebraskacap.com. Also, the Custer County Ag Society is looking for someone to fill a day labor position. Now, this is part-time. This would be setting up for events, cleaning up from events, cleaning stalls, basic maintenance on equipment, mowing, weed eating, etc. If you're interested or would like more information, please contact Michelle at 308-870-2493. Again, the number 870-2493.
Well, this is probably the top story of the day. I was kind of saving it towards the end of the show. This is serious business. Jennifer Lopez spent the long weekend trying to convince everyone she's just like regular people.
Is she now? Okay.
Well, she was making an effort, so
what did she do to become a regular person? Was she in the kitchen baking cookies or what?
She was making sure she was photographed drinking a Coke right from the can. then turning up with her husband at a chili cook-off in Malibu.
Oh, wow.
Dressed head to toe in white.
Oh.
She could not understand that she was getting bashed on Instagram for why it's a bad idea if you don't want to be noticed to wear all white and make sure you're photographed drinking a Coke like regular people. She just doesn't understand it, and it's causing her trauma. And that's a terrible thing. So, J-Lo, I feel for you, babe.
Okay. To us, you're a regular person, if that means anything. If that makes you feel better.
Yeah, you're regular. A regular... No, don't say it, Dave. Have you ever been up in an airplane? I'm thinking about the movie Airplane now. When Peter, what's the...
Peter Graves.
Peter Graves was in,
the pilot.
Kept saying, Brad, did you ever...
Oh, okay.
Have you ever...
Yeah.
That's kind of like this. Have you ever been flying in an airplane, a jet specifically, when you first take off and think, I hope that all the planes know where they're headed and we're not close to another plane? Because there's planes flying, they go one after another up into the sky.
Sure.
And it's amazing because flying is one of the safest ways to travel, percentage-wise, way safer than driving a car. The FFA, I did that last time. FAA is investigating what could be a mid-air disaster, what could have been, over Florida.
But wasn't.
Wasn't. The Delta 757 took off from Orlando's International Airport, but was put right in the path of a Cessna, small plane. Luckily, the pilot saw the plane coming right for him. Well, actually, it was the Cessna pilot who saw the jet coming right for him and maneuvered out of the way in the nick of time. It happened last month. They say the two planes got as close as 500 feet, which in aircraft terms is really close.
Yeah.
So next time you fly, close your eyes and hope for the best.
All right.
Oh, by the way, speaking of flying, Tom Cruise promoting his new Mission Impossible movie.
Oh, can't wait. Love the Mission Impossible movies.
I knew you'd be excited about it. He actually did his own plane stunt over the weekend. After coming off the huge summer blockbuster Top Gun Maverick, Cruise was back in the air to promote another action movie. In a video leaked on Twitter, the 59-year-old actor calmly stands on top of a Cessna as it flies above South Africa's River Canyon and asks viewers to check it out on the new Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning movie, which will be released next year. So he was actually standing on the biplane doing a stunt.
Doing his own stunt, yeah.
To promote the movie, but it was leaked.
Someone leaked it.
It was leaked.
And now he's promoting it.
Boy, what a coincidence.
Yes. It's a coincidence, isn't it?
Maybe J-Lo and him should get together and get rid of old Affleck.
Huh? What?
Yeah, maybe J-Lo should dump Ben.
Oh?
And start dating Tom.
Dating Tom Cruise. Okay.
Is he married?
I have no idea. I don't know.
He was married to the Australian gal. I remember that. That didn't work out.
I think he's been married a few times.
Well, movie stars do that.
Yeah.
So do other people.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a break. We come back, you can kind of set up the song we're going to play.
All right, I can do that.
We'll do that after this.
What is HiBid? HiBid gives you access to thousands of auctions across the U.S. and around the world. Art and antiques, coins and collectibles, computers and electronics, toys and tools. You can find it all at HiBid.com. Even exotic cars, fine jewelry, and real estate. Browse the most popular auctions, search for the exact item you want, or just explore the site. It's easy to use and it's easy to bid. Go to HiBid.com and find what you're looking for today.
Golden Harvest Gold Series soybeans are bred to win. These 19 varieties have strong agronomics within high-demand trait platforms like Enlist E3 soybeans for superior performance all season long. Gold Series soybeans also out-yielded Astro brand soybeans by an average of 1 bushel per acre in 5,542 comparisons. Grow gold at goldenharvestseeds.com/gold-series.
9:41, here's Brent Apperson.
Yeah, I got a text message from our good friends John and Terry Hunt. And you might remember that John, a while back, wrote a book about the Sandhills. And in the process, I think, of putting that book together, came across a young man who then wrote a song about the Sandhills. And the song and the book, in a way, kind of go together. Well, it's my understanding that the person who put the song together, his parents, I believe, are visiting John and Terry in the area this weekend. So welcome, by the way, to Central Nebraska. Nice to have you in the area. And so here is their son's song, I believe entitled Song of the Sandhills.
Headed west for that Nebraska line.
Song of the Sandhills by request here this morning on the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. One more thing we want to talk about just briefly here is on Mondays, normally we feature the grocery cart. Steve usually comes in and runs down some specials. They just want you to know out the grocery cart that they have all the specials going as usual. Since yesterday was the holiday, Steve did not come in. We did not have a breakfast show. So there are still many great specials throughout this week, going through the weekend, that you can take advantage of.
Indeed. And it looks like this ad will run today through September 11th. And here's some of the specials going on this week at the grocery cart. In the meat department, 85% lean ground round, $4.48 a pound. Also, boneless pork loin, $2.48 a pound. And ribeye steak, $13.98 a pound at the GK in the meat department. Some other things that are circled here as specials in the frozen foods section. It's that time of year when school is in session, and I don't know if other parents are like us, but when our kids were growing up, during school, we always made sure we had frozen pizzas available because they're easy to throw in the oven and have a good meal. And they've got Red Baron Pizza, 2 for $7 right now at the grocery cart. Also on sale, Best Choice Butter, $3.88 for the package. Some of the specials in the dairy department at the grocery cart. Produce section, Gala apples right now. Washington Extra Fancy, $1.38 a pound. They've got red or green seedless grapes, $1.98 a pound. Summer ripe nectarines, $2.28 a pound. Just some of the specials going on in the produce section. And, of course, they've got the bonus items that you can get with points, temporary price reductions all through the store. So check it out at the grocery cart this week in Broken Bow.
And, of course, they have the Spirit Shop and plenty of ice for you as well. Barbecue items for you to get your grill going. They're all set up for late summer, early fall at the grocery cart. Well, it's been a real pleasure this morning working with you, Mr. Apperson.
Pleasure's been all mine, Dave.
And I did want to compliment you. I just noticed on my way around the corner yesterday, you've got the curb trimmed up nicely. It looks very, very nice.
Oh, well, thanks, Dave.
And
I did it for you.
Well, the neighborhood appreciates it.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Very much.
You're welcome very much. Are we done?
Yes.
Okay.